Hello, 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 and welcome to No Bull Self-Publishing Academy. My name is Jen. I am the author slash creator, designer, whatever you want to call me, the course creator and instructor. Um, these courses are all about self-publishing and writing and self-editing. So no matter what course you're in, there's a chance that you may have some pre-course jitters, anxieties that come up, things that kind of bubble to the surface if you haven't tried anything new for a while. So I wanted to go over a few points and tips and kind of mindset, style, attitude things to keep in mind in order to make the most of these courses so that way you actually finish them and learn from them rather than spending the whole time procrastinating, and then later on the procrastination turns into, well, it's been like a year since I enrolled, it's probably not even there anymore, and then you just never do it. Believe me, I've done this before. It's not a good attitude to have. It kind of sucks and it wastes your money. So let's get started with this very first video about how to thrive during these training courses and stay focused. Okay? So number one, do not obsess about your end goal. Don't worry about when you're planning to finish the class. Only worry about when your next course is, your next lecture or whatever, you know, the next little bite-sized chunk that you're going to work through. Thinking about the end of the class and everything that you have to do to get there will only overwhelm you. So just think about your next one day of work or your next 1 or 2 hours of work. Don't think about the rest of it yet. All right, so that's tip number one. Tip number two, leave your editor hat. Leave your editor hat off. Don't worry about editing yourself, especially while you're working on any writing or while you're doing any self-publishing stuff. You can always go back to that. There's no end to how many times you can go back. There is, however, only one first-time inspiration. So stick to the first-time inspiration and then worry about editing later. Don't worry about doing everything all at the same time because it doesn't typically work. Tip number 3 is don't overthink anything. Overthinking is a really, really bad idea. Underthinking is probably a bad idea too, but actually, believe it or not, overthinking causes more problems than underthinking. Isn't that strange? So no matter what course you're working through, try not to make it complicated. Keep everything as simple as possible. You know what I mean? If it feels better for you to work on the course every day for, you know, whatever at whatever time, then do that. But if it feels better for you to work on a course like in the evenings or every other day, or just devote one whole entire day per week to it, whatever works for you, keep it as simple as possible, and allow yourself to, you know, kind of be flexible a little bit, which I think is another point later. Point number 4, tip number 4, get comfortable with leaving your comfort zone. This is a building block of growth. This is definitely a requirement of trying to learn anything new, of trying to expand yourself as a human being, of trying to expand your skill set and your knowledge and your consciousness and your understanding. You know, anytime you go to do that, you have to get comfortable with getting out of your comfort zone. And if you're, say, you only write in first person, right? So writing in first person has its limits because you can only explain so much and you can only explain things from one perspective. So leaving your comfort zone would be writing your first story from the third person perspective. You see what I'm saying? And that way you expand what you understand because you're also writing from several different people's perspective and having several different people's emotional perspective too. So it's a pretty cool idea slash, I mean, it's a little nerve-wracking at first, but you can leave your comfort zone and definitely get further than if you are too scared to. So point or tip number 5 is be aware of limiting yourself. Self-limiting beliefs and habits are running rampant in society today. It is ridiculous. It's completely ridiculous. So this is why I work online, because I am around slash among many, many more like-minded people. Be aware of limiting yourself, right? Any thoughts that you have that are limiting your own potential, or any personal requirements you have. For example, I used to only be able to write poetry in my journal if I was sitting in the corner booth at Denny's with my coffee and my cigarettes, and I could only sit in this certain seat, and I had to be able to see everyone because I was like, well, I know what I was, but I don't want to get into that. But it's a lot of requirements just for some creative expression. You know what I mean? But who's doing the creative expressing? Is it your environment or is it you? And really, it's you. So part of being a professional is that you can call on your skills whenever you need them. You can kind of inspire inspiration, if you will, and coax it out. And once you're tapped in, and you can tap in on purpose, then you're just tapped in, period. So, working on that, and it is a daily practice. If you want to be able to do that, you have to do it on a regular basis. Otherwise, it doesn't work. So that is part of being aware of how you limit yourself. And once you're aware, and once you notice these things about yourself, you can begin to start changing them and tweaking them and redirecting your thought process, Point number 6, if you fall behind, miss a day, forget, have something come up, whatever it might be, forgive yourself. Don't beat yourself up over it. And don't use it as a reason to procrastinate, and be honest with yourself about that. But if you miss a day or forget or whatever it is, don't beat yourself up. Forget about it. Don't worry about it. There's no point in worrying about it. You know what I mean? There's literally no point. You can either move on or you can dwell on it. But if you move on, then you're still making progress. Whereas if you sit and dwell on it, then you're just kind of stuck. And that's not good. So point number 7, if you run into any problems, need some help, or a quick coaching session, you can always reach out to me. If you would like some free help, you can always reach out on the Facebook group. If you are watching this in a course, and if you're not watching this in one of the courses, I don't currently have a Facebook group just in general for free for the students, or for the free learners, I guess. So you'll have to head on over to the No Bull Self-Publishing like page, and you can send a message there, and I will try to get the answer to you as quickly as possible. If you would like to inquire about a coaching session, go ahead and email nobullselfpublishing@gmail.com. Now, if you still have any other course jitters or anxieties or kind of fears that kind of bubble up to the surface as you're starting a course, I can tell you that that's very common. It's something that happens to everybody, as far as I know. We all have our challenges to overcome when we leave our comfort zones, and it's something that everybody has to kind of work through on the road to anything, So if you find yourself kind of lost, or feeling things, or being uncomfortable in ways that you'd like to talk through or talk about, then go ahead and reach out to me. I'm going through a bunch of crap right now myself, but there are a lot of people going through very, very similar things. So it's just a matter of making sure that you're not alone, and that you have like-minded people to talk to. And so if that is something that you are in need of, know that I am here, and I am expressing my invitation for you to come reach out to me if you should need it. So with that said, I hope that you enjoy whatever course it is you're enrolled in, and yeah, come back for more, and I'll see you in class, and I'll see you on the YouTube channel, and I hope to see you in the Facebook groups. And, let's just hang out. Let's have fun. Let's not worry, let's not let worry taint the process of creating art. So, yeah, I hope you're having a fantastic week, and I will talk to you again soon.